And Game Minders, thank you so much. If you have contributed, you're probably seeing this message on an update, which means you probably already contributed. So thank you so much for trying to help keep Game Minder alive. We would love it if you would push this off to your friends and maybe try and convince them to donate as well or contribute as well. We got some really interesting feedback last night. Thankfully, Gus from over at Rooster Teeth helped us spread the word a little bit. Thank you so much, Gus. You're a true gentleman and a scholar. Some of you wrote back and said, why exactly is it you need this much money? And we realized we hadn't actually broken it out. On the recommendation of a couple people from last night, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is we plan on using that $25,000 for. Now, we broke it down that we are basically building out a subscription system, but in what way are we going to be spending that money? Well, first of all, out of that $25,000, a big chunk, almost $2,000, comes right off the top to go to IndieGogo to pay for the money that we've gotten. It's something percentage-wise, like 4% off the top and then a 3% processing fee or something like that. So basically just under two grand gone right off the top. So of that 25, after we lose our amount that goes to IndieGogo to pay for actually getting the money, we're going to take about 8 grand. Now these are all estimates, but these are the estimates we've got. We're going to use about 8 grand is what's going to go into the server and website development, which includes payment taking from something like a PayPal or some other sort of payment processing system. About 5,500 is going to go into the iOS side. We need to update the client itself to understand which reminders are going to be free, when does somebody need to pay, and then we also need to build in the ability to take those payments. We foresee about $4,500 in terms of Android development, spread across both the Android client as it stands now on phones, as well as the Ouya client. That's for the development side, but then in terms of payment processing, there's actually a bunch of different options on Android. So we figure about $1,000 each for getting the Google Play payment stuff up to date, the Amazon App Store payment stuff up to date, as well as the Ouya side of things, the payment up to date. Once we've spent all that money, there's about another $2,200 sort of just floating there. And we did that for a couple reasons. One, there's some overhead involved in terms of fulfillment of the IndieGogo stuff. So things like t-shirts, shipping. We're obviously only going to print up as many t-shirts as people order via a perk. So that's going to keep that cost down, but we do need to ship them. And then there's also a couple other things we put in there. You know, it's going to take us development time to gather up all the emails and gather up all of the names and links to sites that people get in perks. You know, the Friends of GameMinder page is something that'll need to get built. So that extra $2,200 is kind of the float that's in there to allow us to have the ability to build out those extra things as well as fulfill things like t-shirts and shipping. So that's how we're going to spend the $25,000 if we get it. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's not looking great right now, folks. Right now, as of this morning, we're only at about $1,375. Well, I'm overestimating. $1,374. You know, we still got 20 days left. So if you help us spread the news, I think there's probably a good chance we might get there. Just one final reminder, if we do not receive the money that we're looking for by June 19th, we will be shutting down the service at the end of June. June 30th will be the last day for GameMinder. So if you don't want to see that happen, spread the word, get all your friends involved. We think that GameMinder is a pretty neat service, and a lot of you, I think, agree. So thanks a lot, and always, don't forget to play.